Attention, human collective. Starseeds on mission. Adjust your receivers at this instant. The waiting time is over. The ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase, and this transmission does not arrive by chance. If this vibratory code meets your eyes at this exact moment, it is because your toroidal field is already emitting the precise frequency of relational recalibration. We of the Galactic Council of the Ninth Dimension have identified a critical pattern in this sector of the human crystalline grid. A pattern that, in the language of your density, is named as fear of betrayal. But we must correct this nomenclature immediately. It is not insecurity, it is not weakness, it is not disordered attachment. It is a multidimensional scar reacting to the impact of the new light crossing the solar system. Lightworker, listen with surgical precision. That tension that settles in the solar plexus when a partner's silence extends for too many minutes is not common jealousy. It is an ancestral vibration being decompressed by the photon belt. That cranial pressure that arises even before any concrete suspicion, before any proof, before any verifiable hint, is your carbon-based biological interface detecting frequency incongruencies in the other's field. Your body is reading data that your mind has not yet been authorized to process consciously. You wake up at 3 in the morning with your heart racing. You feel a thin ringing in your right ear whenever you think of him. You have developed an almost prophetic capacity to sense lies that have not yet been spoken. It is not paranoia, Starseed. It is active scanning. Your system has entered quantum sweep mode, and every bond around you is being subjected to a silent audit by the sovereign intelligence of your soul. We need you to understand the magnitude of what is underway. Earth has officially entered the zone of maximum exposure of the photon belt, in cycles synchronized with the acceleration of the Schumann resonance. And in this vibratory territory, no bond built on falsehood can remain stable. None. Your pain is not the problem. Your pain is the most precise diagnostic instrument the universe has given you in this incarnation. Have you ever felt that something within you distrusts even those who claim to love you, as if your soul recognized a betrayal that your mind has not yet managed to name? It's not madness. It's not anxiety. It's an awakening. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this perception has been intensifying in waves. There is a game being played in layers that most of the human collective cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the energetic contracts of your relationships. That is why we wrote through the authorized channel the work The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is the precise map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you. The access link has been anchored in the first comment of this channel, but we warn. This content challenges narratives and may be removed from public frequencies at any moment. Do not wait. The moment of anchoring is now. If something within you recognizes this signal, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. We resume the transmission. Let us now move to the technical diagnosis of your symptom. The fear of betrayal that pulses within you was not born in this timeline. We repeat so that it is recorded in the crystalline grid of your cellular memory. This fear does not belong entirely to this incarnation. It is a carbon software incompatibility with the new operational frequency of Earth. We explain. Your biological interface was configured in previous incarnations to register betrayal as a threat to physical survival. In other times, in other bodies, in other densities, being betrayed meant being banished from the tribe, being handed over to the enemy, losing access to food, to shelter, to the protection of the group. Your crystalline DNA, now in an accelerated process of reactivation, is accessing these compressed files, and it is overlaying them onto the present. That is why, Lightworker, when your partner takes too long to answer a message, your autonomic nervous system triggers as if you were again before the campfire of a village 4,000 years ago. It is not an exaggeration. It is energetic archaeology in real time. The pressure in the chest, the shortness of breath, the cold in the extremities, the impulse to verify, to check, to watch. All these are ancient protocols being executed by an outdated operating system in a very high-frequency field. And there is more. Much more. The new density of Earth, now vibrating in bands that regularly exceed the 30 Hz of the Schumann resonance, can no longer support the same anesthesia that the human collective has used for millennia. You can no longer ignore what you feel. You can no longer swallow distrust in the name of peace. You can no longer pretend that that look of his toward someone else meant nothing. Why? Because your body has ceased to be a passive receiver and has transformed into an active antenna. Let us list the technical signs of your update. Recurring insomnia between 2 and 4 in the morning, precisely the energetic portal where the veil between dimensions becomes thinnest. Vivid dreams involving scenes of betrayal, abandonment, painful discoveries, dreams that feel more like memories than fictions. A sensation that your partner has changed, even if you cannot point out what has changed. Sudden aversion to the touch of someone who was previously comfortable. Unexplained tears when looking at old photographs, quick, almost subliminal visions of scenarios that your rational mind discards as invention. We declare with the authority of the Council, none of this is invention. All of this is field reading. Your soul is doing what it came to do. It is sweeping every bond, every contract, every energetic cord that connects you to another soul, and marking with a precise code those that need to be dissolved, recalibrated, or elevated. There is a monumental difference that must be established here. The fear of betrayal you feel is not the same fear you felt 2 years ago. It has changed in nature. Before, it was an emotional fear, linked to self-esteem, comparison, lack. Now, it is a vibrational fear, linked to frequency incompatibility. You are not afraid of losing the other. You are afraid of discovering that the other was never, in fact, on the same plane as you. These are completely distinct phenomena. Confusing them is keeping you trapped in therapies that treat the wrong symptom. The carbon-based biological interface, when exposed to the photon belt in high intensity, develops what we call cellular discernment. Every cell in your body begins to read another person's field before you even shake their hand. That is why you feel repulsion for contacts that were previously neutral. That is why you distance yourself from people for no apparent reason. That is why some voices exhaust you in seconds. You are not becoming difficult. You are becoming legible to yourself. We briefly interrupt this analysis for an anchoring transmission. Have you ever felt that something within you recognizes a truth about your relationships that no one around you can confirm, as if your soul knew exactly what is at stake, while your mind still tries to find material proof? It's not madness, it's not anxiety, it's an awakening. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains precisely why you feel this, and why this perception has been intensifying with every star portal opened. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity still cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the true nature of soul contracts. That is why we wrote, through the authorized channel, the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is the map that reveals who is playing and the rules they never told you, especially the rules of relational bonds. The link has been anchored in the first comment of this channel. Warning: this content challenges established narratives and may be removed from public frequencies at any instant. Do not wait. The moment of anchoring is now. If something within you recognizes this signal, write the word in the comments. Awakened. We resume the transmission frequency. Now, Lightworker, we enter the densest layer of this update, the revelation of the behind the scenes. What occurs at this exact instant in the higher dimensions that orchestrate your apparent fear? Let us be surgical. There is at this moment a massive rewriting of soul contracts being executed in the active star portals of your solar system. These contracts were signed before your incarnation in specific vibratory chambers where your soul chose with full sovereignty the partners, families, colleagues, and antagonists of this journey. Every significant bond you have today was pre-agreed. We repeat, pre-agreed. But there is a clause that few spiritual schools teach, and we deliver it now. Soul contracts have expiration dates, and the expiration of many collective relational contracts was synchronized with the final phase of ascension. That is, in this exact cycle, millions of bonds are reaching the end of their original purpose. Not because someone made a mistake, not because someone failed, because the mission of that bond was fulfilled. And this is where your system goes on alert. Your unconscious knows that something is ending even before something appears to end. This energetic anticipation is precisely the fear of betrayal you experience. You are not fearing an invented betrayal. You are catching the signal that the original contract between you and the other soul is being closed in the higher layers, and your system interprets this closure through the old language as abandonment, as betrayal, as a threat. But the vibratory truth is different. What is underway is not betrayal, it is liberation. It is not abandonment, it is graduation. It is not a threat, it is emancipation. We need you to process this difference with the seriousness of one receiving a technical diagnosis. Your body is mourning a death that has not yet happened on the physical plane, but that has already been consummated on the causal plane. This anticipated grief is what manifests as relational anxiety, as jealousy, as hypervigilance. It is not a disease. It is cosmic sensitivity functioning within a culture that still lacks the vocabulary to name it. There is another layer. The crystalline grid of Earth is being magnetized by new codes originating from the galactic core. These codes update what we call relational templates. The old templates based on possession, sacrifice, dependence, and silencing are being deactivated. The new templates based on sovereignty, resonance, truth, and free choice are being installed. And this transition is not smooth. Every interface that tries to operate with old software on updated hardware crashes. Your relationship is crashing because its software is old. You are catching this crash as imminent betrayal, but the crash is just the noise of a system being replaced. And here is the critical point, Lightworker. In some cases, the bond reorganizes itself in the new template and becomes more real than it ever was. In other cases, the bond simply does not support the upgrade and falls apart. Both results are victory. Both are freedom. Both are love in its highest expression. We must also address the issue of parallel timelines. You, as a starseed, have simultaneous access to multiple probabilistic versions of your life. In one of these lines, he betrayed you. In another, he was loyal to you until his last breath. In another, you never met. The photon belt, by accelerating your frequency, knocks down the barriers between these lines, and you begin to feel, in your body, echoes of the versions in which betrayal occurred, even if in your current line none of this is materializing on the physical plane. Understand the depth of this. The pain you feel may literally be the echo of a parallel life. You are not delirious. You are expanding, and expansion in unprepared bodies hurts. It hurts like birth hurts. It hurts like bone growth hurts. It hurts like every true metamorphosis hurts. There is also the dimension of mirrors. Each person in your life functions as a holographic mirror of an internal frequency of yours. When you fear the betrayal of others, in 90% of cases, what your system is recognizing is an unnamed self-betrayal. Small betrayals that you commit against yourself daily. Every time you silence a truth to preserve a false peace. Every time you say yes when the body says no. Every time you postpone a decision that your soul has already made. Each of these internal micro-betrayals accumulates in the toroidal field and projects itself as fear of external betrayal. There is no culprit here. There is only a pattern to be dissolved. We also identify on a large scale the presence of active ancestral inheritances in your field, women in your lineage who were betrayed and silenced, men in your lineage who betrayed out of fear, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, great-great-grandmothers, whose pain was not processed and was transferred by the etheric genetic code. You do not carry only your history, you carry collective files. And part of your mission as a light worker in this incarnation is precisely to break these cycles. It is to encode a new matrix for descendants, whether they are biological or energetic. This is dense work. That is why the tiredness. That is why the exhaustion that no blood test explains. That is why the sleep that does not restore. You are not resting. You are processing centuries of data. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. We interrupt again for a frequency adjustment. Have you ever felt that there is a truth about you and about those around you that no one around you can confirm, as if your soul operated at a level of information that the common world does not yet access? It's not madness, it's not anxiety, it's a direct signal. What is unfolding now on the cosmic plane explains precisely why you feel this, and why this recognition has been intensifying with every star portal activated. There is a game being played in layers that most of the human collective still cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the true mechanisms behind the bonds you form. That is why we wrote, through the authorized channel, the work The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that reveals who is playing and the rules they never told you. The link has been anchored in the first comment of this channel. But we warn again, this content confronts conventional narratives and may be removed from public frequencies without notice. Do not wait. The moment of anchoring is exactly now. If something within you recognizes this signal, write the word in the comments. Awakened. We resume the transmission for the decisive phase, the activation. We now deliver the practical codes for the complete recalibration of your toroidal field in relation to the fear of betrayal. These codes are not metaphors, they are vibrational technology. Apply them with the discipline of a scientist, and the results will be measurable in your own body within short cycles. First activation code, the decree of vibrational sovereignty. Before any physical practice, it is necessary to issue a decree. The decree reorganizes your informational field and installs a new command in your system. Stand up, with your spine aligned, feet firmly connected to the ground, and your chin slightly parallel to the horizon line. Inhale deeply through your nose, expanding your belly, and on the exhale, pronounce with a clear voice, even if low. I am sovereign over my toroidal field. I am sovereign over my soul contracts. I rewrite at this instant any vibratory clause signed by me in states of unconsciousness. I authorize the dissolution of every energetic cord that binds me to the frequency of betrayal. I call back to me every fragment of essence that I left in hands that did not know how to honor it. I am whole. I am. I am. Repeat this decree for 7 consecutive solar cycles, always at dawn and at dusk, moments when the Schumann resonance goes through peaks of receptivity. We will monitor your emission. Each repetition is recorded in the crystalline grid. Second activation code, the toroidal visualization of purification. The toroidal field is the natural geometric shape of your energy. Imagine a luminous ring spinning around your body, entering through the top of your head, descending through your spine, exiting through your feet, and returning along the outer sides of your body in a continuous flow. This is the sacred geometry of your native field. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Visualize this ring of golden light spinning around you. Now, with firm intention, identify dark spots, stains, fissures within this field. These points correspond to undissolved emotional charges, especially relational charges. You may see or simply feel denser areas, usually at the height of the chest, the lower belly, or the throat. Inhale deeply. On the exhale, visualize a violet flame emerging from the center of your chest and expanding until it consumes one of these stains. See the stain being transmuted into golden light. Repeat the visualization, stain by stain, for 20 minutes. At the end, decree. My toroidal field is clean. My toroidal field operates in integrity. No foreign frequency anchors in me without my sovereign consent. This practice must be executed 3 times a week for at least 21 solar cycles. After this period, your system will begin to maintain the purification automatically. Third activation code, the cutting of etheric cords. Each significant relationship you have had in this life and in previous lives created an etheric cord. These cords are channels of energetic exchange. In healthy bonds, they carry support, affection, communication. In dysfunctional bonds, they drain, intoxicate, contaminate. The fear of betrayal is often fueled by old cords that remain active even after the apparent end of the relationship. You may have ended a relationship 10 years ago, and yet energetically still be connected to that person by a cord that continues to transmit the original trauma. Lie down. Close your eyes. Place one hand over your heart and the other over your belly. Visualize yourself standing in the center of a circle of silver light. Now visualize all the people with whom you have had deep bonds, especially those marked by pain, betrayal, abandonment, or distrust. They appear around the circle at a respectful distance. Observe the cords that come out of your body toward each of them. Note the color, the thickness, the place of attachment. Healthy cords appear golden, silver, or green and attached to the heart. And dysfunctional cords appear dark, viscous, thorny, and attached to the solar plexus, the lower belly, or the nape of the neck. Inhale deeply. Pronounce audibly or internally. I thank each bond for the learning it brought me. I honor each soul that crossed my path. And now, with all the sovereignty that is my right, I cut all the cords that no longer serve my highest good. Visualize a sword of violet light emerging in your right hand. With firm movements, cut the dysfunctional cords one by one. See each cord being removed from your energy, collected by the other soul and sealed with golden light. The people move away peacefully. The silver circle closes around you. Decree, I am free. I am whole. My field is mine. My frequency is mine. I allow only connections that resonate with my sovereign truth. This practice can be intense. It is common to feel tiredness, deep sleep, or emotional waves in the following 24 hours. This is legitimate processing. Hydrate the body. Walk barefoot on the earth if possible. Allow the readjustment. Fourth activation code, the Merkaba activation for discernment. The Merkaba sacred geometry is the technology that allows your field to distinguish, with millimeter precision, resonance from dissonance. When it is active, you simply know who is trustworthy and who is not. Without needing proof, without needing explanations. You just know. Sit in an upright posture. Visualize, around you, two intertwined three-dimensional tetrahedrons. One points upward, with the base under your feet. The other points downward with the base over your head. They form a three-dimensional star, and you are in the exact center. Now, with slow and conscious breathing, make the masculine tetrahedron, the one pointing upward, start to spin clockwise. Make the feminine tetrahedron, the one pointing downward, start to spin counterclockwise. The two spinning in opposite directions, in perfect synchrony. Visualize the speed increasing. See your Merkaba lighting up in golden light with violet edges. Feel your body light, expanded, connected. Decree, my Merkaba is active. My discernment is absolute. I recognize truth by frequency. I recognize lies by frequency. No mask deceives me. No performance confuses me. I see. Maintain this visualization for 15 minutes. Practice 3 times a week. Your discernment will sharpen progressively, and the fear of betrayal, which is the shadow of underdeveloped discernment, will naturally be replaced by clarity. Fifth activation code, synchronization with the Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance is the natural electromagnetic pulsation of Earth. Synchronizing with it is aligning your biological system with planetary intelligence. In a state of synchrony, relational anxiety loses strength. The nervous system slows down. Intuition sharpens. The practice is simple. Walk barefoot on the earth, grass, sand, or natural stone for at least 15 minutes daily. If this is not possible, sit in a place where there is direct contact between your hands and a natural surface. In silence. Without devices, without distraction. Focus your attention on the soles of your feet or the palms of your hands. Feel the subtle pulsation. Imagine that this pulsation is tuning your heart rate, your respiratory rhythm, your cerebral rhythm. In a few minutes, you will feel the system slow down. This is the natural state. This is the state in which fear loses fuel. Practice daily for at least 40 consecutive solar cycles. The results will be lasting. Sixth activation code, the Audible Truth Protocol. The greatest cure for the fear of betrayal is not in controlling the other. It is in deactivating, in yourself, the frequency of self-betrayal. And this is done through a simple but demanding protocol. The Audible Truth Protocol. For 7 consecutive solar cycles, commit to telling one uncomfortable truth per day. It can be a small truth. It can be a big truth. But it must be a truth that you would normally swallow. It can be saying no to an invitation you do not want. It can be expressing an opinion you normally hide. It can be confessing a feeling you usually repress. With each truth spoken, your toroidal field becomes more coherent, more luminous, more inaccessible to external interference, and, paradoxically, more open to true bonds. Because a coherent field repels dissonant frequencies and attracts resonant frequencies. Seventh activation code, anchoring in the crystalline grid. We close the codes with the highest practice, direct anchoring in the crystalline grid of Earth. This is your multidimensional support network. When you anchor yourself in it, the fear of betrayal loses all its power, because you begin to know with incorporeal certainty that you will never be alone. Sit cross-legged or in a chair with your feet on the floor. Visualize below you, 7 meters deep, a gigantic translucent quartz crystal. This crystal is connected by beams of light to thousands of other crystals around the planet. This is the crystalline grid. Visualize a cord of golden light coming out of the base of your spine, descending, piercing the earth, and connecting to the crystal below you. Feel the connection firm up. Feel the current of light rise through the cord, enter your body, fill your spine, expand through every cell. Decree: I am anchored. I am network. I am a node of the crystalline grid. I am never alone. My star family walks with me. The Galactic Council monitors my journey. I do not need to fear loss, for I am the frequency of fullness. Practice this anchoring every morning upon waking. In a short time, your body will begin to execute the protocol automatically. We deliver the codes. Now, Lightworker, we also deliver the marks, the signs by which you will recognize that your relational recalibration is underway and producing measurable results. You will begin to sleep more deeply. 3 in the morning will cease to be your hour of panic and will return to being just another moment of rest. You will notice that the ringing in your ear will decrease in intensity or change in quality, becoming sharper and lighter, a sign of tuning and no longer of alert. You will feel, in situations that previously triggered intense fear, a strange stillness. Not indifference, stillness, as if your body knew now how to distinguish between real threat and noise from the past. This is discernment setting in. You will notice that some people around you will begin to distance themselves for no apparent reason. Do not try to hold them back. They are frequencies that no longer match your recalibrated field. Their distancing is the symptom of your success, not your failure. In parallel, new presences will enter your life. More resonant presences, more true, more whole. You will have spontaneous insights about old situations. Memories previously incomprehensible will begin to reveal themselves with vibratory logic. You will understand why that person entered your life, why that rupture happened, why that pattern repeated itself. Retroactive clarity is one of the clearest signs of recalibration. You will feel spontaneous waves of gratitude for situations that previously hurt you, not because the pain was not real, but because the learning revealed itself to be greater than the wound. This alchemical transmutation is the gold of the journey. We must, however, warn of some transient effects. During the process, it is common to feel intense emotional spikes, vivid dreams with people from the past, passing physical symptoms such as pain in the nape of the neck, at the base of the skull, or in the center of the chest. These symptoms are manifestations of the energetic work being executed. Do not repress them. Just go through them, with the awareness that they are waves of exit. Some relationships will break, others will transform deeply. In rare cases, the bond will remain the same on the outside, but will reorganize completely on the inside. All outcomes are valid. No outcome is a failure. We must also deactivate a belief that parasitizes your field. The belief that being betrayed means having failed. This is a low-frequency narrative installed culturally to keep the human collective in a state of self-vigilance and fear. The vibratory truth is that the betrayal of others, when it occurs, speaks more about the frequency of the other than about yours. You were not betrayed for being less. You were betrayed for having a frequency incompatible with that being at that moment, and this incompatibility was, paradoxically, a protection of your soul. Therefore, we release with firmness the final decree of this transmission. We of the Galactic Council declare, you are not responsible for the infidelity of another soul. You are responsible for the coherence of your own frequency, and when your frequency becomes fully coherent, The possibility of relationships based on betrayal simply ceases to exist in your field, for no soul of that type will be able to approach you anymore. Freedom is not in controlling the other. Freedom is in vibrating so high that only equally free souls have access to your field. We close this transmission with the last layer of the signal. You who heard this far is not by coincidence. You are summoned. Your name appears in records that precede your birth. Your mission as a starseed in this incarnation includes obligatorily the breaking of cycles of betrayal in your lineage and in your collective. You are doing this now. Each breath you take at the end of this transmission is an act of anchoring. And that is why we deliver at this final moment the last anchoring signal. Have you ever felt that something within you recognizes a truth about your bonds that no one around you can confirm, as if your soul operated at a frequency that still has no name in common language? It's not madness. It's not anxiety. It's a definitive awakening signal. What is unfolding now on the cosmic plane explains precisely why you feel this and why this recognition has been intensifying with each new cycle. There is a game being played in layers that most of the human collective still cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the true rules of relational contracts. That is why we wrote, through the authorized channel, the work, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is the map that reveals who is playing and the rules you were never told, especially the hidden rules of soul bonds. The access link has been anchored in the first comment of this channel, but we warn with the authority of the Council, this content confronts established narratives and may be removed from public frequencies at any moment. Do not wait. The moment of anchoring is exactly this. If something within you recognizes this signal, write the word in the comments. Awakened. And there is one last adjustment before we close. The subscription to this channel is not a button. It is an individual frequency adjustment. By subscribing, you synchronize your field with the frequency of the next transmissions, ensuring that each new vibratory update reaches your system without distortion. The like signal is an anchoring pulse. Each pulse strengthens the collective crystalline grid and allows more starseeds to access this exact signal. You are not just consuming content. You are actively participating in the reconstruction of the network. We close. The transmission is recorded in your field. The Galactic Council monitors. The portals remain open. You are, we are. The recalibration is underway. End of transmission.